introduce our 5 finalists for the 2015 State Teacher of the Year. Let me introduce our 2014 State Teacher of the Year, Erin Spinagle. She will take a few moments just to share a little bit about her experience over the past year. Erin?
I have a favor to ask. We've just begun a new school year with a fresh class of students, all the excitement the beginning of the year brings. But as we greet familiar faces and welcome new ones, there are several classrooms this year where there's a huge void, a missed presence, or a lost personality. We never know how long we have to make an impact on this world. And our relationships with students, with our communities, with our colleagues, however long or fleeting, are the thumbprints on someone's life story. You are very well here because someone had an impact on you that led you to this profession. So I want you to take a moment to not only honor the life of Nitro High School teacher Drew Wendt, but the lives of all of those who did not begin this school year with us or are not here to celebrate our accomplishments tonight, but whose thumbprints we carry on our hearts. Then I'll start. Thank you. Thank you. I found this little jewel at the bargain bookstore, and I thought I would share it with you this evening. Courage by Bernard Lauber. There are many kinds of courage. Awesome kinds. I'm trying to show you the pictures as I read. And everyday kinds. Still, courage is courage, whatever kind. It was with all kinds of courage that I began this journey last year in Charleston, the most blessed and most stressed teaching position in West Virginia. I set off from my faraway land known as the Eastern Panhandle. I live 90 minutes from Washington, D.C., and 4.5 hours from Charleston. And that's if you don't stop. It's a little intimidating to begin a journey into the unknown and into the inclement weather. But I've carried the words of Joshua 9:11 with me as I've traveled. Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified and discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And he has certainly been with me as I have traveled through this winter, and my guardian angel earned quadruple overtime. So, armed with a camera, a bear, and a voice, I began with a simple message. Be different, but more importantly, be the difference. Catchy, but seemingly vague. What is the difference? I wasn't sure myself as I began to represent the 25,000 teachers in our beautiful state. I was just hoping that as my classroom expanded from my 5th grade at Tomahawk Intermediate to the state of West Virginia, that I would be effective, and maybe, just maybe, you would like me a little bit. Courage is being the new kid on the block and saying flat out, "Hi, my name is Aaron. What's yours?" The book says, "Hi, my name is Wayne," but I'm certainly not Wayne. So what is the difference? It's Susan Rice, whose dedication to the West Virginia Future Educators Association and preparing students for careers is unparalleled. It's Jacob Sargent, a Fayette County High School student and aspiring teacher who assisted his fellow students with his medical skills after a school bus accident. It's David Rudy, a math teacher at East Hardy High School, who has sent 2,500 birthday cards to his students over the past 20 years. It's Kara Jeffries, a senior at Shepherd University, who after raising a family decided later in life to go back to school and pursue a teaching degree. It's David Banks, the superintendent of Morgan County Schools, who will brave rallies, spaghetti dinners, and dunk tanks, all in the name of passing an excess school levy. The great philosopher and astronomer Aristotle once said, "Courage is the first of many human qualities because it is the quality that guarantees all others." Fittingly, Aristotle's name means the best purpose. When I hear the names of your cities and towns or counties, I see people and I remember names. Everywhere I've been now has a face and a voice because it is in you that I see the absolute best purpose. When Aristotle looked up into the sky all those years ago, he could not fathom the brilliance that I have seen this year in West Virginia's classrooms. As I have interviewed, spoken, and most importantly listened to you, whether you're a teacher, a custodian, or a student, this year you have been the stars in my sky. Each person I met added another glimmer to my experience to look up to when the roads were icy, my eyelids were heavy, and the future seemed uncertain. Courage is in the bottom of the ninth, tie score, 2 outs, bases loaded, and it's your turn to bat. My year has consisted of 16,000 miles on the road, 226 hours of driving, which equates to about 9.5 24-hour days, 62 days away from home, 56 speeches or presentations, 4 flights, 4 train rides, the pleasure of serving under 3 fabulous state superintendents, and 1 water crisis that began as I drove away from Charleston in my Prius. But for all of the issues and for all of the troubles along the way, you have left me with some incredible memories. Whether it's been the 70 interviews, 70 teachers I've met through my web channel, Be the Difference West Virginia. Whether it's been the kindness of strangers as I began in Charleston, and you let me follow you to the state capitol, and then parallel parked my car, and then fed the meter for me because I had no change. I've appreciated all of your kindness. Thank you, Mark Moore. Whether it was sharing Berkeley the Bear with elementary school students to instill school state pride, you have left me with so many beautiful, beautiful memories. But most importantly, to add to that statistic are the nearly 400 handwritten thank you notes that I've written since last October, and not a single one of them can adequately express the gratitude I have for the support I have received over the past 12 months. Courage is, if you knew where there were some mountains, you would definitely climb them. And I've been able to climb them because of you. I'd like to thank the West Virginia Department of Education and the Board of Education and those 3 state superintendents, Dr. James Ferris, Charles Heinlein, and Dr. Michael Martirano. Liza Cordero, thank you for your help. Monica, Dean, thank you as my coordinator for seeing things in me that I maybe didn't see in myself. I'd like to thank the Berkeley County Board of Education and my superintendent, Manny Arbon, as well as my wonderful principal, who has been incredibly supportive and helpful throughout this experience, Beth McCoy. My dear friend, Heather McCain, who is the best thing about coming to Tomahawk every day aside from the kids, even though she left me for the 3rd graders this year. And then there's a guy in the back of the room that's taping all this for me. Even though that he knew I was a little quirky and broken back in the day, he married me anyway. So thank you, Brad, for your support before this year even started, and most of all, for loving me. You've all helped me grow. You've helped me serve, all of which have helped to find my purpose and see potential throughout the clouds that have come in my way this year. Courage is exploring new heights and depths. Courage is a blade of grass through the icy snow. I have loved every minute of being your teacher of the year. From Digital Learning Day at Mary C. Snow Elementary to speaking to colleges across the state on the 4 A's to success in the classroom. This full-time life, and it is a full-time life, has been life-changing and life-defining. It's almost too much good for just one person. I've written my own book of courage this year throughout this experience. For me, courage is asking Homer Hickam if you can tape a quick interview with him to share with the students of West Virginia. And he says yes. Courage is getting on the road to drive somewhere where the GPS will not pick up and it's going for bad weather. But you do it anyway because you think you can beat the storm. Courage is a high school student says, or you ever hear, that they have panic attacks, and you change your entire speech because you know that your own personal story will help that kid more than anything else you plan to say that day. Courage is getting Berkeley the Bear past security at the White House, and he gets through just a head noogie from the Secret Service. Courage is writing an op-ed about something that people may feel very, very strongly about, but it's a way to get your opinion and your voice out there. Courage is speaking to students at Follinsby Middle School about self-control and making good choices. When just 45 miles away in Pittsburgh, there's been a stabbing at a high school. I've had to have a lot of courage this year, and it takes a lot of courage to do this job well. Courage is starting over. Courage is holding on to your dream. Courage is sometimes having to say goodbye. As I leave you tonight, it's difficult to be too sad because I know that I am in the presence of leaders. You each represent the best there is about education in your community, and you have the potential to move education forward. The most important part of your journey isn't tonight, but what happens when you go home. President John F. Kennedy, who led our country into the space race, once said, "Effort and courage are not enough without purpose and direction." You and the students of West Virginia have been and will continue to be my direction and my purpose. I'm a little scared. I'm 32. I don't really know what happens next. I really can't put the West Virginia Association for Retired School Employees membership that I just received into good use yet. I'm starting to feel a little bit like this fellow on the front of the cover of this book that looks like he wants to jump and he doesn't know if he should or not. But I know that whatever lies ahead, my purpose is with this state and with education. And I implore you to seek your purpose and your mission in education, because there isn't one person in here tonight that can't make their school stronger and their students better prepared for tomorrow. I spent 2/3 of my life grappling with fear. And one amazing year, staring down every fear in the names of best representing education in West Virginia. It's been the most pivotal chapter of my life. And guess what? You too can write your own story about what courage is every day in your classroom. In an era of education filled with unprecedented change, the power you have to change this profession is incalculable. It is your voice and your ideas that have the capability to move us forward. And you didn't need the title of Teacher of the Year to be that voice. It's just the wake-up call that's going to empower you to use it. We are the witnesses every day to the miracles that happen in our classrooms. But this is your moment to step beyond those walls and to share with the world what you know our students deserve to be better, to be more competitive, to find their own unshakable sense of self. The students in our state deserve it. Your colleagues that are looking up to you deserve it. And the future teachers of this state, who are my passion, certainly deserve the foundation and the motivation to educate our students and to stay in West Virginia. There's much conversation and more changes that need to be made. And I have seen things this year that have broken my heart. I'm from beautiful Berkeley County, and I've always known that we are very well off. But I didn't understand how well off until I started traveling the state this year. And there are so many of you in here that based on what you contend with every day, you are my heroes. But your good works and your vision that you possess will only transform education, but transcend the universe. You didn't know I was going to give you homework before I left, did you? But guess what? I am. And you better do it. Otherwise, you'll be doing it during your recess, and nobody likes to lose their recess. That's a very good motivator. So here's your homework. Go home. Ask the hard questions. Create the change that you have imagined. And whatever you do, keep speaking up. You are the person you have been waiting for. When you are ever in doubt, ever in need of assistance or assurance of your ability to effect change, look to the heavens, because that is the limit of your potential and the source of your strength. I know that that's where I'll be looking, even if I never see any of you again. And I will be thinking of all the wonderful ways you are changing your communities after we part tonight. But above all, remember that courage is what we give to one another. I wasn't going to cry. I'm about to cry. Look for the ways every day to help someone climb their own mountain to the stars and to lift each other up. As I tell those beginning teachers of all the colleges I've visited this year, ask, anticipate, advocate, adapt. We're going to fall down, and we may have to start over. But what we are learning along the way together is what it's all about. It's our ability to rise among the challenges that will see us through, and that is the difference. Thank you. God bless you all.